This is AJ Salvatore, here with Carla Schultzberg and sports anchor Bill Gelman, for this January 23rd edition of EastCast. We know that things happening here at East kind of pale in comparison to the events taking place over in Iraq, but they are important to the students here, so we thought we'd tell you about a few. Last Friday, January 18th, the 1991 version of Student Government Association's Battle of the Bands took place. This is when bands mainly comprised of East students take the stage for 20 minutes and do their thing. Some bands sang popular songs of today, some sang popular songs of yesterday, while others still sang songs that they had written themselves. Congratulations to the first place band, Slicks Antics, who rocked their way to the top. Other competitors this year were Last Minute, None of the Above, Night and Day, Diagnosis Fatal, and Quick Release. Mr. Mark Steele kept the audience busy by singing songs between the bands. When asked how he thought he performed, sophomore member of None of the Above, Alok Mehta, replied, "I was nervous at first, but once we got going, I had a lot of fun. I can't wait until next year." Well, Alok, East has many more activities this year, and we hope you enjoy them too. Carla?
The annual News Studies program will enter its 26th year at KYW News Radio beginning February 9th. The 6-week program offers area high school seniors an opportunity to learn broadcast journalism from KYW's managers, anchors, and editors. During News Studies 91, student reporters will learn reporting, news writing, editing, and interviewing skills. As the final project, students will research, write, and record a story about their school, which will air on KYW News Radio. At the end of the program, during graduation ceremonies, the $1,000 Rick Minetti Scholarship Award, which recognizes outstanding talent and ambition in broadcast journalism, will be given to one News Studies 91 student. 10 other top News Studies students will receive $100 bond certificates. The participants from East will be Jason Malika, Sherry Telenoff, Dave Smith, Mark Schenken, Rich Knopke, and myself.
Friday, February 1st, will be when the 1991 Variety Show is held. At the Variety Show, East students are given the opportunity to go up on stage and show the rest of the school what they're able to do. In recent years, there have been things such as comedy routines, dance routines, and songs sung. This year, there will be dance routines and such, but also auditioned was a homemade rap. This rap will be sung by sophomore Jesse Murray with his DJ Joe Certo and dancers Dom Canuso and Alok Mehta. It is sure to be one of this year's main attractions. Also coming up soon will be the annual Freshman Dance and Sophomore Cotillions. The Freshman Dance will be held Friday, February 8th, and the Cotillion will be February 23rd, both of which will be held in Cafeteria 1 of East.
February is Black History Month, and here at East, the Afro-American Club will be displaying a showcase with all different kinds of African art and literature. Also on February 10th, there will be an African Black History program sponsored by the Cherry Hill Minority Civic Association at East. This program involves both students from East and West. The theme of the day is jazz, and the show has singing, acting, and dancing involved, with Benny White as the advisor. The purpose of this program is to bring Black students from both East and West together to work as one and become familiar and friendly with one another. The proceeds from this show will go towards the 5 encyclopedias being donated to the East Library by the Afro-American Club. It is sure to be a fun-filled day on February 10th that you don't want to miss. And now for this week's sports, here's our anchor, Bill Gelman.
Last week, East's wrestling team captured its first victory of the season against the squad from Pennsauken. But unfortunately, they couldn't keep the streak up because on Saturday they were beaten by Triton 43-15. But since this is a season of rebuilding, the Cherry Hill East wrestling team has developed a youth program. This program takes place on Tuesday and Thursday evenings at 7:30. The purpose of the youth program is to give the future wrestlers of East some preparation so that when they come to East, it won't take as long for them to develop into solid wrestlers. Tuesday night, the Cherry Hill East boys basketball team hosted crosstown rival Cherry Hill West. The Cougars were 6-6 prior to last night's matchup. A victory would put East and its run and gun offense a game above 500 for the season. For a complete look at the boys and girls game, let's go to Dave Smith at the boys gym.
Thanks a lot, Bill. This is Dave Smith here with Mark Schenken. A great night for Cherry Hill East basketball. In the first game, the girls upset the West Lions in a terrific matchup. The high scorer there was Jill Marple, and she played a great game along with Chris Reagan. Now in the boys' game, that was the doozy. Bo Gray got the basket and the foul late in the game, and West hit 2 free throws. And with 27 seconds left, the inbound came in, and East got fouled. Jim Walsh missed 2 free throws, and West got possession of the ball. They went down court. Walt Clymer put up the shot. He missed the shot. The rebound went to half court, and Dave Ritchie picked it up. And after that, it appeared the time ran out, but Ritchie was fouled. The referees put a second back on the clock, and Dave Ritchie got a chance to put the game away at the free throw line. He missed both free throws, and West had a chance. They called timeout immediately, and with 1 second left on the clock, they inbounded the ball. 2 of the West players collided. Walt Clymer put up a desperation shot after the buzzer, and that was it. Cherry Hill East 59, Cherry Hill West 58. What a game. What are your thoughts on it, Mark?
Well, I did most of the play-by-play with injured star forward Matt Zapp, and he had a lot of interesting insight as to how Cherry Hill East's defense started to pick up the notch in the third quarter. East came out a little bit flat. West had about a 7-point lead starting off in the first quarter, but East worked hard and got it tied up by halftime, 33-all. In the third quarter, East came out strong using 3-pointers from Jim Walsh, who led all East scorers with 14, as he came out draining some threes, and East, after a series of technical fouls called on the West team, had a 7-point lead starting off the fourth quarter. But West was careful. They used patient defense and timely East turnovers to get the game close by the end. But East came away with a 59-58 victory. They are now 7-6. West falls to 4-9. And East now, just on the edge of the playoff bubble, have an opportunity to see if they can play some postseason action here for the Cougars.
And this game should be a big lift for East on their drive to the New Jersey State playoffs. You can see all the action here tonight on Cable 18, the girls and the guys game, coming right up after EastCast. Thanks a lot. This has been Mark. And for Mark, this is Dave. We'll go back to you guys.
Thanks, Dave. And that's this evening's sports. Now back to Carla.
On a darker note, the U.S. is still anxiously awaiting incoming news reports on the day-to-day battle with Iraq that is now called Operation Desert Storm. Bush feels the war is going well. Iraq did announce that they feel that this will be a long war and that they have captured POWs, one of whom is from our own hometown, 28-year-old Jeffrey Zahn. We join the Zahn family and the world in prayers for the safe return of Jeff and all of the POWs. We exhort Iraq to follow the Geneva Convention for humane treatment of the POWs. That's all for tonight's episode of EastCast. Stay tuned for the East-West basketball game following the West Report and the junior school news. For AJ Salvatore, Bill Gelman, this has been Carla Schultzberg saying, seniors, it's time to relax. Second market period is finally over. And juniors, good luck. You're going to need it. Tonight we leave you with Ophelia, who donned the yellow ribbons for the safe return of all our service people. We join her with our prayers for a swift end to the crisis. Good night, Ophelia.
Good evening, and welcome to the West News. I'm Haley Consigna.
And I'm Kathy Barch. On Friday, January 18th, students were able to express their opinions on Operation Desert Storm at an after-school forum held in an auditorium. The debate began with Dr. Brown, a history teacher at West, who summed up the situation in the Middle East for the students. After Dr. Brown completed his informational and brief speech on the Gulf, students were encouraged to move forward to the front of the auditorium in order to express their views on the war. In the beginning, the participation of the students was slow, but after a few students expressed their thoughts, especially after a very impressive and moving speech by sophomore Drew Rabin, the number of students wanting to share their thoughts increased as everyone hurried to the front of the auditorium. The students spoke out on different aspects of the war, such as Saddam Hussein's strategy, the U.S. military involvement, protests throughout the states, and other aspects of the war. Towards the end of the assembly, Channel 9 News from New York arrived at West to do a special report. Several students had the opportunity to express their thoughts on the news, which appeared later on TV that night. This event will probably go down in Cherry Hill West's history as being one of the most moving and inspirational discussions of Cherry Hill West students.
The West family, as well as Cherry Hill community, have been caught up in a terrible drama of Operation Desert Storm, in a painfully impersonal way by the ordeal of Jeffrey Zahn. The 28-year-old airman, a Cherry Hill resident and a West graduate of 1980, was reported missing in action on Thursday after his A-6 intruder was shot down in the western Iraqi desert. For those desiring a practical way to show support for the families of service persons in the Gulf, comes a request from Mayor Bass Levin. Her office is organizing a dinner on January 30th for these families to show community support and concern. West Student Government Organization requests students who know such a family or wish to donate their time and talent to contact any SGO member or the mayor's office. And here's Ben Ostroff with this edition of Sophomore News.
Hello, welcome to Sophomore News. For all of you that feel as though you deserve to be in government but never got around to filling out that application last spring, here's another chance. This week, as evaluations of our government staff will be taken, you can get another chance to get into government. Just see Tom and Jen as positions may be available in F-22 during homeroom period. In other news, remember that Valentine's Day is only 3 weeks away. Preparation for the annual Valentine's Dance and Carnation Sale have already taken place, and much preparation has gone to work just for you. So remember to support the sophomore government next month. Now, back to the West Report.
After a suspenseful 3 weeks, the cast list for West's spring musical, A Chorus Line, has been posted. In a conversation earlier today, I received details about it from Mr. Jalora, the director. When did the auditions for A Chorus Line take place?
Forever. We had all those snow problems, and it was the longest audition procedure we've ever had, I think. But we started on a Thursday, the 3rd of January, and we went Thursday, Friday, and then, of course, we ran into all that snow the next week. So we didn't finish until last Tuesday. It was almost 2 weeks to audition the show.
Really? What did the auditions entail?
Well, there were 4 days. The first day we had everyone danced, and we scored them on their dance abilities. The second day we had everyone sing, and we scored them on their singing abilities, because in this show, everyone must do one or the other, and so we had to see what the students could do. The third day we had acting, but by that time we cut the numbers in half, and we only heard about half of those, the ones that passed those first 2 auditions. We then heard them do lines, and the fourth day was an even smaller group. It was an invited callback for those that we thought had a real chance at making the roles in the show. So 4 days.
Mm-hmm. And how many students tried out and how many were casted?
We had, I don't know, it was over 110 exactly. I don't know, but somewhere in that. And there was a large turnout for us, and an exciting turnout for us. Of that, we were able to cast 44 students. So what is that? A little less than half of those that originally auditioned got into the show.
Are you excited about West being?
Oh, very excited about West being one of the first to do this show and doing this show. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And how did you happen to choose A Chorus Line?
Maybe I already answered that question. I'm excited about the show. It's when you go to see that show, it excites you so much when it works well. There's such emotion in the show that it's something as a director of a show you just like to sink your teeth into to work with. The characters, the whole idea of it's a show within a show, but not really. You're at this audition, and of course our students have just gone through that whole process themselves, and they've gone through those emotions. So that emotion of wanting something so desperately, and a dream and a goal that they're shooting to, I think can speak to students in and out of theater. So for all those reasons, I think it's an exciting show to work on.
Well, thank you very much for joining us.
You're very welcome.
And now, here's Ben Ostroff with this week's sports.
Thank you, Kathy. The boys' swim team added 3 more wins to their record as they crushed Highland, Camden Catholic, and Gloucester Catholic. Steve Chalmers, Dave Back, and Christian DeMonte again led the team with first places. Dave Marika had a first place in diving against Camden Catholic. They will take on Willingboro and Cherokee this week. The girls' swim team lost to Cherokee last week. Lee Newman, Lauren Newman, and Adrian Thorpe were the team's top swimmers. They have one meet this week against Morristown on Thursday. The girls' basketball team lost to Highland 47-41 and Paul VI 64-52, making their record 6-6 on the season. They need to win 2 of their next 3 games to make it to the state tournament. They took on East yesterday and will take on Washington Township later this week. The boys' basketball team went to 4-8 after losing to Paul VI and defeating Highland. Ricky Iflander scored well for the team. They also played East yesterday and will also play Washington Township later this week. Remember to stay tuned for both the boys' and the girls' basketball games after the Carusi and Beck School news. The wrestling team lost 3 meets this week to a strong Eastern team, Camden team, and Camden Catholic team. They will take on Overbrook and Morristown Wednesday and Saturday of this week. Thank you very much. And now back to the West Report.
Thank you for watching this week's West Report. Please tune in next week at the same time. Good night.
Good night.
Good evening, and welcome to Carusi News for January 23rd, 1991. I am Miraj Mohideen reporting. Today we have a nice show prepared for you. So now I'll turn it over to Jane Rosenberg with a sport report.
Thanks, Miraj. The 8th grade boys basketball team lost its first game, the January 15th, to Delran. With 9 seconds to go, they could not find a way to pick up the game and lost a heartbreaker 44-42. Chris Matarese had a strong offensive game, leading the Mustangs with 18 points. Girls basketball. Bouncing back from their loss against Delran, Carusi defeated Pennsauken in a thrilling game, 37-16. Scoring for Carusi were Donna Hind with 11 points, Samantha Palmer with 8 points, Noelle Borda and Diane Burnell with 6 points each, Lindsay Army with 5 points, and Heather Blavelt with 3 points. Other players who lended a hand in this exciting victory were Lisa Lysak, Melanie Rose, Tammy Brickus, Krista Schmid, and Janie Glassman. 7th grade girls basketball. Carusi's 7th grade girls basketball team won its first game of the season by defeating Pennsauken 39-4. The entire game was an excellent offensive and defensive game. Scoring for Carusi were Meredith Ward with 10 points, Ivory Rose and Melanie Rose, each with 8 points, Danielle Succi with 5 points, and Dawn McCargo, Lauren Quattrone, and Keisha Hicklin, each with 2 points. Kim Griffin, Amy Jones, Bridget Palmer also contributed to our outstanding game. And finally, Carusi's wrestling team defeated Marlton Middle School by the score of 78-24. Scoring pins for Carusi were Mark Monichetti, Tim Gismondi, Scott Grazer, Mike Hoffman, Josh Giffen, Irving Lamb, Lee Toby, Bill Foster, John Romano, Tom DePaul, Brian Lockwood, Jeff Mariani, and Chris Staniak. In exhibition, Jeff Cohen, Jason Antipas, Brian Lowe, Brendan Klarman, Ken Landis, Tony Allmiller, TJ Montana, Justin Romeo, Justin Rogers, Ron McClellan, Steve Francis, and Louis Dare wrestled well. That's it for sports. Back to you, Miraj.
Thanks, Jane. And now for some student activities, here is Adria Bleshman.
Music, music, music. That's just what people heard on the night of Wednesday, January 9th, when all the various music groups of Carusi Junior High came together for a great night of listening. This group features the fabulous orchestra, band, wind ensemble, chorus, show choir, and jazz ensemble. These dynamic players have been practicing for months and show it. They are simply fantastic. The orchestra was led by Miss Bridget Kasinskis and the chorus and show choir by Mrs. Christine Bass. The wind groups are led by Mr. Andrew Chichiak. Tonight, on January 23rd, there will be a wrestling match away. And on January 24th, there will be a boys and girls basketball game. And January 25th, a wrestling match home and a boys basketball game. And on January 28th, there will be a boys and girls basketball game. And on January 29th, we have half day. 30th, we will have a wrestling match home and a boys and girls basketball game. And that wraps up the student activities for January. And now back to Mirage.
Thank you, Adria. And finally, in conclusion of our show, backed by popular demand, we have here today Dan Boyle with another amazing feat of magic.
Today I'm going to perform a feat of escape. You may not believe me, but Houdini taught me this. Holly is first going to tie me up in the rope. And now I'm going to be tied up in the chain. And the chain is going to be locked by Holly. Okay, doesn't matter. Okay, take the now these are thumb cuffs. And backwards. Okay. And they will restrain my thumbs. Okay, and to prove that I can't get out of these, Holly will hold the keys. Now I will turn around and...
No funny ending?
No.
That's what you get the card.